Welcome to William's Scary Things. The following is part of a series featuring stories and situations spanning a range of topics, from ghosts, the paranormal, strange occurrences, and unexplainable phenomena such as UFOs and other unusual and creepy things. I'm new at this, so thanks for watching and listening, and enjoy the episode. For source and credit, please see the description. In November of last year, I moved into my mother's house. She would tell me how the house is haunted and about all the experiences she has had there. I didn't believe her at the time because even though I've had plenty of paranormal experiences throughout my life, I would still consider myself a skeptic. So for the first few months being in this house, I didn't experience anything, but my mother would continue to tell me about the experiences she was having, most of which were occurring at night. Fast forward to January timeframe, when I believe I had my first paranormal experience in this house. I was in bed, and so was everyone else in the house. The house was silent, and as I'm laying in my bed, I hear what sounds like two women talking to each other in the hallway. The first woman had a very soft voice, while the other had a very dominant, demeaning voice. The one with the dominant voice made me tremble with fear. I can't recall what was said between these two voices because I was very shaken up, but it felt very negative. I gathered my courage, bottled up my fear, and got up from my bed. I opened the door to the hallway to see if anyone was there. There was nothing. I went into my mother's room. She was asleep, and I went into the other room to check on my two nieces, and both of them were asleep too. Fast forward to March, and I am experiencing more paranormal activity. By this time, on 4 separate occasions, I have seen the same woman walk down the hallway out of the corner of my eye. She's wearing a white dress and has curly brown hair. It was so real, it was as if an actual person had walked through the hallway. We're now in April, and I've had quite a few more experiences. One night I was half asleep, and one of the kids' electronic toys was over on the other side of the room, and it randomly turned on. I cannot explain this, but as with other experiences, I simply shrugged it off. However, these experiences only seem to be getting closer to me. I remember being woken up to have this intense feeling that someone was standing behind me. I looked behind me and no one was there. The most recent experience was last week. I was about to drift off to sleep and felt someone breathe into my ear, which jolted me awake. As I mentioned, the experiences started off far away from me, like in the hallway while I was in bed. Then things started happening in the bedroom until eventually the experiences have upgraded to physical contact, what with the breathing in my ear. I hope there is a logical explanation for all this. While the shock factor of these experiences does scare me, I'm not at all scared as I grew up with the saying, fear the living instead of the dead. At first it didn't bother me, but now my personal space is being somewhat invaded, which feels rather uncomfortable. I told my mother about these experiences, and she told me that she used to sleep in my room, and sometimes she would wake up to a woman in a blue dress, sitting at the edge of the bed. She ran out of the room, turning the light on in the process. She slept with the light on for the rest of the night. I may be crazy, but I kind of like having some of these experiences. It gives me hope for there being some sort of existence after death. If it is indeed paranormal, I will respect it as I respect another human being. I would imagine the scariest thing about these types of encounters is that they're taking place where you think you'd be the safest, in your home and in your bedroom. A prevalent aspect of this story is how the mother would openly talk about the experiences she was having. Typically in these situations, I think you'd find people keeping these things closely guarded, perhaps out of fear of ridicule. The conversations in the hallways, that reminds me of experiences in my family, which I plan on going into in later episodes. Sometimes the creepiest encounters are not overt or explicit, but they're kind of subtle to a point to where you have to be silent and almost listen to them to experience them. The reader does not seem like she's in any danger because of the events, but does seem to feel as if her personal space is being invaded, like she said. It's very understandable. Perhaps the spirit is a former owner of the house, just wanting to share what was once theirs. Hopefully, these things don't get malicious or harmful, and the reader continues to keep a good outlook on the situation. She seems to have a far better outlook than I would. Until next time, thanks for watching and listening. I'm new to this, so excuse any novice mistakes as I continue to kind of get better, hone my craft. So thanks and take care.